Bring him home.
He cannot be that guy.
He can be. Just give him some time.
Hey, Spadoni, shut up.
JK to the Bay. Come on.
Don't do that.
Well, if the price points keeps dropping, why not? Mm-hmm. This guy's agent, by the way. Like, what did the Lakers offer him? Like 2 years, like $20 million or like 8 million, something like that. Totally reasonable. And I think he'd work perfect with Luka. And he's like, no, I want at least $20 million a year. It's like, really? What did you do last year, Jonathan? Had a moment against the Knicks?
What are we doing?
Hey, come on, dude. Come on. And I'm rooting for the guy to succeed at some point. He might just be a failing and losing player. Who knows? I do know this. The Warriors have not offered a contract to Draymond Green yet. I find that interesting. What? Are you okay? What happened?
No, nothing.
yeah, I like that jacket, by the way.
It's a pullover.
Oh, that's the quarter zip. You and Nahigian. Has he been rubbing off on you?
Well, I mean, he's stealing some of my style, which is kind of sad. Because,
he's stealing your style?
I mean, God, he's just got no style.
If you start wearing brightly colored like vests and like polos,
glasses.
You can do that with glasses and have the flat top, you'll be him. But this is the quote. We'll get the actual sound here in a minute.
He is bringing back the 1950s flat top.
It's never gone out of style. This is the quote from Draymond Green on his podcast after LeBron chose Philadelphia. So this is interesting. I am still unsigned. I have no contract offer. The Warriors have not offered me a contract yet. We will figure it out. No one's patience has worn thin. My patience hasn't worn thin. Rich Paul's patience hasn't worn thin. Neither have the Warriors' patience worn thin. There's a lot of wearing thin here, or not. Nor anyone else for that matter. I saw a post the other day about starting players in the NBA. The length of time they've been a free agent, and I just want to throw my hat in the bucket. My free agency days are growing by the day. Draymond Green.
So does he control like what contract he's going to get?
So that was Spadoni's tone. Let's hear from Draymond's mouth himself on the Draymond Green show.
For starters, I am still unsigned. I have no contract offer. The Warriors haven't offered me a contract yet, so I'm still unsigned. Hoping for an offer at some point in the near future. No, I'm just joking. However, I am unsigned still and waiting. As I told you all when this first kicked off that, we were going to be patient. We were going to figure it all out, and we will figure it out. No one's patience have worn thin. My patience haven't worn thin. Rich Paul's patience haven't worn thin. Neither have the Warriors' patience worn thin, or anyone else for that matter. I saw a post the other day about starting players in the NBA, superstars in the NBA, the length of time they've been a free agent. And I just want to throw my hat in that bucket. My free agency days are growing by the day. Not that I'm a superstar, although y'all talk about me like I'm one. But yeah, so make sure y'all got that ticker going. My days are going up.
I don't think anyone's talked about him like he's a superstar, although we talk about him a lot. Maybe that's what he's referencing to. Something or nothing here, Joe. The fact that the Warriors have not offered a contract yet to Draymond Green. And I'll throw that out to the audience. 888-957-9570. Is that the right move?
Well, I guess the question is, what are you trying to accomplish now that LeBron has not come to you?
As a team?
Yes, as an organization. Are you just trying to build the best team you can for this year? What are you trying to accomplish?
You're building for the future. And it starts this season now. You're building for a future without Steph Curry. So the young players, you're building them up and seeing if you could play well enough in Jimmy's absence and Jimmy comes back, and you can be slightly above 500, that's what you're playing for. No, I'm serious. That would be like his successful season.
Does Draymond fit into that equation that you're describing?
I don't think so. Unless he's willing to take a different role at times, which I don't know if he's able to do. And different role meaning like come off the bench. I don't know if he's willing to do that.
Knowing what we know, what happened with Moses, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman, would they be better off having all the runway in the world for Yaxel Lendeborg or limited?
All the runway in the world. Let Yaxel be Yaxel is what I would say. And Steve Kerr said over the weekend, basically saying, he's going to start this year probably at some points.
What position?
I don't know. Well, what position is available to start in? Tell me that.
Well, I would have Yaxel be our 4.
I agree.
I would have Yaxel and Kristaps, and I would tell Draymond, if he does come back, like the only role for him on this team would be off the bench as a mentor.
I mean, you ask Yaxel, he'll tell you like 1 through 5, I can do everything.
Yeah,
but like
I know,
that's not what he's going to do here. It'd probably be the 4. Yes.
Like it's about development.
I don't want him to be a small ball 5 either. I don't want.
Once you got basically told no by LeBron James, I think that's kind of changed the offseason. So you're asking me, like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if Draymond goes to another team. In fact, I'd be rooting for him to go somewhere else.
Well, from his perspective, I think he should entertain that. It just doesn't sound like, from his words, he's even entertained that possibility. And maybe he has. Maybe that'll be on another podcast on another day. But from Draymond Green's perspective in all this, because I feel like we always talk about it through the Warriors lens, but let's take it from Draymond Green's side. Another opportunity to legitimately win a championship, and it'd be elsewhere, but to win another title and get a 5th and be a difference maker defensively and solidify yourself as the greatest defensive player of your era. I do think that's something worth pursuing. And when I say that, I do think it's going to Philadelphia and playing with LeBron James, a guy that he's always clearly wanted to play with, right? He's clearly wanted to play with.
Was he their second best player last year? Warriors? No, not even close.
No, but he was.
Was he their third?
He was their most available at times.
No.
Yeah.
GP2 was more available than him. And Pajemski. Was he their third best player last year? I'm asking. Totality. 4th?
He was in the top 5, I guess. Like, I don't want to like hate on Draymond Green as a player because
Malachi Leon's played like 25 games, so the bar's pretty low.
But Draymond he was available.
Sure.
And
I'm asking what he was as a player.
I hate that I have to give him credit for wanting to play games, even though Jimmy and Steph were out. But that was a legitimate conversation we had. If Draymond was just going to shut it down, because I keep hearing that, well, he could have shut it down. He could have shut it down, but he gutted it out. He was a great leader for that team last year.
He had a great 7 minutes against the Clippers.
He had a moment. He had a moment.
No, he had a great set. And he had some moments throughout the regular season.
Against Wemby and yes, amongst others.
He's a situational player.
Yeah.
I'm not giving a situational player $28 million a year. So if they give him any kind of contract, I think it starts with under $12 million a year.
Is there a price where you would be okay with it, Joe, him coming back?
Again, under $12 million a year. That's the number.
Okay. So if that happens and he comes back for 2 years, $20 million.
I don't think it's fair to say LeBron is only playing for $4 million. Clearly that's an outlier situation. I wouldn't hold anyone to that. Now, I just look around like league-wide value. Who else is giving Draymond more than the mid-level exception at this point? And the maximum mid-level is, I think, like $15 million. Who's giving that?
Maybe Detroit. Maybe for like the hometown aspect.
They just balked at paying one of their players.
Yeah, Kerr and Draymond. Yeah.
So they're gonna. I don't break off Draymond.
It's 1 year, Joe. You're asking 1 year. It's hypothetical. I'm asking teams out there that wouldn't want. Why wouldn't you want to have Draymond Green for a year? He'd be perfect for a contender, right? Ideally, like we talked about early on, Joe. Spurs, Thunder, any of these teams would like 1 year.
Agree.
It'd be perfect for them.
I agree. I just
not Miami, but yeah, that's probably
the shooting would be terrible,
would
and
be
not
awful.
Orlando.
No,
but like I don't know. I think it's ask yourself, what are you trying to accomplish, and does he fit that equation? And the answer is probably not.
If you're just joining us, Draymond Green said on his podcast over the weekend, and this is post LeBron James signing, he is still unsigned. He has no contract offer from the Golden State Warriors. And I'm curious for Warriors fans, like, you think that's the right move from the Dubs? Not offering him a contract at all and saying, you know what? Goodbye, Draymond Green. That's a possibility?
If you're asking me like right now, what do my starting lineup look like? It's KP at the 5. Okay. Yaxel at the 4.
Okay.
Gee probably at the 3.
Okay.
Melton or Pods at the 2.
And
Steph at the 1.
Okay.
Off the bench, Dray at the 4. Horford at the 5. Okay. Will Richard would be off the bench at some capacity at the 2.
Pods or Melton, as you said.
Pods, Melton, the other point guard. And then my 3, that's kind of open. I think that's open auditions until Jimmy comes back.
Yeah.
That's the way I would run it.
You got Bassie out there potentially too as a backup.
The third big, yes, especially because you don't know how available Horford and Porzingis are going to be.
Exactly.
I mean, right?
Yeah, it's thin, dude.
I know.
It's incredibly thin.
I know.
Oh my, just like the patience. Coach Hall in San Diego. How you doing, Coach?
That is a very sad team.
Hey, what's up, fellas? I got just 2 quick points. Number one, I think Draymond has been real. You should just go try to get you another ring, man. I'm personally still hot about the punching of Jordan Poole, ruining the timeline. You ran KD off. Now LeBron told you no, you can't shoot. You're turning the ball over. Like, hey man, it's time, dog. Good riddance. Secondly, why did Kerr come back? LeBron, we missed out on LeBron and every other big name free agent. And so why is Kerr still here? Like he's just coaching these old geezers this season. We're a 37-win team. A zebra ain't gonna change his stripes, man. We've seen this movie like 3 years in a row now. Like, what is really going on? Did LeBron promise them something and then didn't deliver? Because Kerr seemed like he was pretty done at the end of the season on that last game. So I'm trying to figure out what happened, because I don't think he came back to coach this team. That's just my take on it, man. I appreciate y'all.
No, he came back to coach Steph Curry. That's what he said. Thanks, coach. Like that's what he said. And he's going to coach Steph Curry for the next 2 years. No, I'm serious. Like that's legitimately what he said. He wants to be tied with Steph and Curry.
He might be one and done. I mean, who knows? He might step away after 1 year. Who knows?
I mean, but why sign the 2-year contract then and say, and why have the pomp and circumstance?
Just to have
but why have the pomp and circumstance of having this entire article released about you, chronicling like your entire season, only for you to say, oh, just after 1 year, I'm done now.
Look,
because then he just would have left this year.
Joe, I love Steve.
He had a perfect opportunity to do that.
Joe, I love Steve. He's got just as big of an ego as these other guys. He's kidding himself. He doesn't think so. Well, he can play the aw shucks. We.
Of course he does.
And they all have egos.
Of course he does. This guy's been in media before. He gets it.
Come on.
Yes. That being said, like, I'm going to take him at his word and said, hey, I want to finish this thing out with Steph Curry. Is that okay? Is he not allowed to do that?
Of course he can.
But why are fans getting mad about that then?
Because if someone was going to offer me $20 million a year, I ought to take it too.
Absolutely. But again, you say, why is Steve Kerr back here? It sounded like Coach Hall didn't want him back. What other coach are we bringing in? No, like we always ask this, like, hey, they should have made other moves. Okay, what's the other move they should have made?
Can I ask you this question? Now that we know that they weren't really in on LeBron at all, like, again, if you're saying no Draymond, no LeBron, no big moves, is Kerr the best guy to be running that team next year, whether Curry wants him or not?
I think Steve Kerr should get some credit with how good.
I didn't ask that. No. I didn't ask that.
But you're basically insinuating for this team.
No.
Is he the best at developing some of these
transition team?
Why not?
Well, because he's always sided with the veterans. That's why.
But he's not going to have any veterans to side with. So, like,
but if Kerr wasn't the coach, would you feel it as certain that Draymond's coming back?
No, I think that yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So when you're sculpting the team, you're sculpting it around your coach, right?
But that is a very interesting relationship, Steve Kerr and Draymond Green, is it not?
It's weird.
It's very strange. Like,
it does feel like, though, that they have, each other's backs, though.
They
at the
do.
end of the day.
He also, left in the middle of a game last year and just went to the locker room.
Why is Kuminga not on this team right now? In part because Steve Kerr doesn't want him.
In part because it didn't fit. Yeah, Steve Kerr wanted.
Look,
what Steve Kerr wanted for this team, Jonathan Kuminga he didn't want him to do certain things, and vice versa. It just didn't work. It didn't work. And Steve Kerr takes some blame, and he's admitted it. He's like, you know what? I have some blame here in the development of Jonathan Kuminga not making it work.
What I'm saying is that, like, Steph, Steve, and Draymond have been so influential on the moves that are made, because you want to have pieces on the team that the coach is going to play.
Well, wasn't Yaxel kind of a Steve Kerr guy? Ready now?
No, and I like Yaxel. But Joe, I guess what I'm saying is notice who has not gotten criticism over the weekend.
Who?
Steph, Steve, and Dray, regarding the moves or not moves that have been made. And, like, you have to be, like, honest about this. Like, they are a part of the brain trust that's making these decisions. Yes, it's on Lakeup. Yes, it's ultimately on Dunleavy. He signed up for those jobs. But he's trying to do the best he can around the specific desires of the coach and the best player.
So
I just think it's loaded. There's a lot of loaded kind of straws on this.
If you knew that this was when I'm asking Warriors fans, not just you, 888-957-9570, if you knew that this was going to be the path this offseason and you were just going to bring back Al Horford, bring back Kristaps, right?
Bring back Melton.
You obviously have
probably GP2.
We'll see. Got Yaxel. You got LeJay Jones. Charles Bassey came back for a year. Like, those are the moves you've made. You haven't brought in anyone new that wasn't on this team last year. All things being equal, like, would you have signed up for 2 more years of Steve and potentially 2 more years of Draymond? Like, I think that's a legitimate question now. I don't think a lot of fans would have. I think they would have rather seen them just completely go in a new direction.
Which is why everyone is so mad this weekend.
But
can you still get LeBron?
Can you still go in a new direction, I guess is my question, if you're trying to build for the future with Steph Curry still on the team? I think you can, but you just have to have the buy-in from the player and Steph Curry. See, this is the disconnect. Steph seems to have bought into whatever they're doing, and yet the fans of Steph don't want to accept that.
That I agree with.
But why? Why can't they accept that Steph is happy with what is happening here? Why can't they accept that?
Because they're fans. That's what fans do. We don't want it to be over, Joe. We don't ever want it to be over.
But this is what everyone tells me what makes Steph so great is he's not a locker room cancer. He doesn't do any of this drama stuff.
Yeah,
he doesn't do whatever. Yeah, but this is also what you get in that regard.
Joe, if they would have landed LeBron, the word championship would have been bandied about in every single call. Whether you and I think that's feasible or not, like, that's how delusional fans are just in general. And I'm not mad at them for that. But, like, oh, you put LeBron and Steph, like, thinking that they're like 6-7 years ago,
right.
LeBron and Steph. That's just not, it's not the reality.
If there was any, like, inkling, even in that Marcus Thompson article that I read all the quotes this morning, Joe, I've read them a bunch of times. Did any of that sound like anger from Steph?
No.
Or sadness or whatever? No, it's just a guy that has accepted his situation.
Well, let's stop. I mean, he's still making 60 large a year. Let's not act like he hasn't.
For sure.
You know, there's a compensation.
Yes, absolutely.
I understand that there's a legacy aspect, and, you know, these things are, you know, they're not infinite.
People are just mad, and I keep hearing the guy's name all the time. Kobe years. These are the last Kobe years in LA. Like, Kobe also came off a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
He also had a transition in upper management and ownership that was a dumpster fire. The Lakers were a laughingstock of the league. The Warriors are not there yet. All right? So can we take, like, pipe it down a little bit?
Can you also argue that what sucked at the end of the Kobe years also helped give them the trade ammunition to make the move for Anthony Davis?
Absolutely.
Now, I feel like no one ever, like, puts those two together.
It's a great point.
Like, no one ever puts those. Like, yes, you got LeBron James, but you had the financial flexibility to be able to absorb LeBron, and then you used all the pieces during the Kobe suckage years to get Anthony Davis.
D'Angelo Russell, you got him. Josh Hart. Lonzo Ball.
Yes.
Kyle Kuzma, Julius Randle. Did I say Brandon Ingram already? Brandon Ingram. Like, they hit on a lot of players that are still contributing at a high level.
They hit enough,
and they were able to flip them for Anthony Davis. And remember, at the time, everyone said this is going to blow up in the Lakers' face. And, like, wow, look at the New Orleans Pelicans swindling the Lakers. Lakers win the title. Pelicans are the Pelicans.
God, the Pelicans.
And the rest is history. Come on, Pelicans.
Who would be good faster? The Cleveland Browns, the Arizona Cardinals, the New Orleans Pelicans.
Cardinals.
Nope.
No, I'm going Cardinals. Because at least in my lifetime,
I like the Browns.
At least in my lifetime, the Cardinals have actually been a competent franchise. No,
what does that even mean?
They've been to a Super Bowl.
That was 20 years ago.
I said in my lifetime. All right. I did give that caveat, Joe. In my lifetime. The Browns, come on, dude. Not when Jimmy Haslam's the owner, although.
Are they the worst team in the NBA?
Pelicans? Well, now that the Hornets actually look competent, yes. No, I'm serious.
I want to see what the Spurs can do with their trio before I take that title away from them.
Wait, what?
Not the Spurs, the Wizards.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. I was going to say, I was like, the Spurs.
I forgot about the Wizards.
No, they have Debanza. They have hope.
Well, that's what I said. I want to see what the Wizards do, but.
God, they were really putting all of their eggs into the Zion Williamson basket, and my guy ate all those eggs. God.
Eggs are filled with protein.
You like that one, Carter? Come on.
Eggs are excellent.
Don't do that.
No, but he ate too much of the yolks inside of the eggs. He got rid of the whites and just ate straight
It's a lot of cholesterol.
A lot of cholesterol.
A lot of blockage
in there.
there.
I'll ask you guys in the back. Warriors haven't offered Draymond Green a contract. Would you offer him one if you're Mike Dunleavy at this point?
Not one for a lot of money.
No, okay.
Yeah.
But you'd offer him one. So there's some fans that are saying don't offer him anything. And I think that's fascinating.
I think a $28 million contract for whatever, 1 year or whatever, or 2 years. I think that is so laughable.
It's crazy.
It's literally, it seems like franchise suicide to me.
Thinking about the contract makes me realize the second they put pen to paper, it's one of the worst contracts.
I agree with that 100%.
Missing out on,
and then they would have two, Jimmy's and his.
Right. Did missing out on LeBron James and LeBron James not coming to Golden State make it easier to move off of Draymond Green?
That's a great question.
In a way, I think it has. Hey, Draymond, your last hurrah would have been bringing in LeBron. We all would have been good with it. That would have been fine. I don't think there's any ill will at all if Draymond decides to go elsewhere.
Now, do you want to ask me what I think the percentage of him going elsewhere is?
Yeah, because mine was 90%. I think he stays.
Mine's higher. I'm at 100.
Oh,
I think he's absolutely, there's no world in which he's going anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll put it at 99%.
Bob Myers has a relationship with him, a great relationship with Draymond Green, does he not?
Bob's not the general manager.
No, he's above him. He's more important.
I know. I think he's getting a lot of credit for this, but they have a general manager.
He hired the general manager.
He lives in L.A. He doesn't live in Philly.
He doesn't need to.
Oh, he can't give Dray pep talks during the game anymore.
FaceTime him. Pull up the FaceTime Carter. No, but I'm dead serious. Has LeBron James not coming to Golden State opened the door for Draymond to go elsewhere and made it easier to do that? I think it has. Warriors fans, 888-957-9570. Now that LeBron is not coming to Golden State, would you be willing to part with Draymond Green and totally rip this Band-Aid off and say, hey, no more Clay, no more Draymond, Steph remains, but it's going to be the Yaxel Lendeborg, Guy Santos, Brandon Pajemski show going forward. I know. But Joe, this is where we're at. Joe, this is where we're at. I'm serious. I'm not, we're laughing, but also this is the reality.
What are the 5 stages of grief?
I'll pull them up. First is admitting you have a problem, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, no, that's grief. That's sorry. That's
addiction.
That's addiction. That's addiction.
Give me the 5 stages of grief.
Oh, I got them right here.
Because I'm clearly at the acceptance part of it, and I don't think a lot of Warrior fans are there.
All right, I got them right now. Denial.
Mm-hmm. That's been going on forever.
Anger.
That's going on right now.
Bargaining.
Oh, go get me Trey Murphy III.
Depression.
That's
I don't want to laugh.
That's set in.
Constant.
See, that was the regular season this year for me after Jimmy Butler.
Acceptance.
That I've been here.
Okay.
I've probably been here a couple weeks.
How many of those stages have you gone? See, I think fans were starting to get to that acceptance stage, and then Shams hit the notification that the Warriors are interested in LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
But what's the hardest part to accept? That it's coming to an end, or that?
I think it's coming to an end in the way that it is coming to an end.
Correct.
It's hard to accept.
How is this any different than any other dynasty? Explain to me how this is different than any other dynastic end. Show me the dynasty that ended and everybody was kumbaya afterwards.
I think they would have liked.
No, the history of sports.
Well, let's go to the.
I think it's how it's being drawn out, and like it's clearly over, but the way it's being drawn out is just it's hard to stomach how like
Giants
done it
won
is.
a title in 2014, and we didn't say goodbye to Belt and Crawford until 2023. What are you talking about? They just won a title in 2022.
Baseball's a little different though, because players can like hang on to staff for a lot longer, right? Like come on. Like, players can hang on for a little bit longer.
They gave them extra contracts after 2021.
I mean, Crawford did have a great year. Posey did have an incredible year. Then he retired out of nowhere.
They're called outlier years for
No, I know. Well, Posey was still good, though. He still had some years ahead of him.
The year that everyone acknowledges was as fugazi as they've ever had, we're just handing out extensions.